Welcome back to our common skin type series. Today we get to talk about oily skin, and this happens to be my favorite one of them all for a few different reasons. The first reason being that as a teenager I had to deal with oily skin and the challenges that came with it. And the second reason is I have really loved learning about this particular skin type because there are so many products available to us out there and techniques that will help us find ways to control it. So in today's video, I will be sharing all of the products that I have used for oily skin and also how I've been able to overcome some of the challenges of my own. What makes our skin oily is it's the secretion of the natural moisturizing elements in our skin. So we want to look for products and ingredients that are going to manage the oil effectively and properly. So skincare products that mention oil-free, oil control, foaming for your cleansers, those are going to be the ones that we want to look for. And then some of the ingredients would be the melaleuca oil, which is your tea tree, the salicylic acid, glycolic acid, your clay, niacinamide. Those are all the ingredients that we want to look for, just to name a few. So here is a former picture of me with really oily skin. Look at my forehead and my cheekbones and that infamous T-zone line going straight down my nose. At one point in time, I was using products, or particularly cleansers, that were really too drying for my skin because I just wanted to get rid of the oil. And if you look close enough, you can also see some of the scarring on my forehead and then on my cheeks. And it looks like I had a little bump, a little blemish on my left cheek. So my adult acne struggle is definitely real. So as an adult, a teenager rather, I was dealing with oily skin and adult acne, and I used Clinique all the way. It really did help to clear up my skin, but what I learned was that I was stripping so much oil from my skin that it was causing more oil production. And not to say anything bad about Clinique, because like I said, it did help to clear up my skin, but some of the ingredients were probably a little too harsh for me at that time. But overall, it's a decent line. So a basic routine for oily skin would include, and we're going to break each one of these down, but it would include your cleanser, your exfoliation, a toner, a moisturizing sunscreen, and a nighttime moisturizer. So starting with your cleanser, you want to look for skincare products that are not going to be too drying, that they're not going to totally strip your skin dry. If you're using a face wash that leaves your skin feeling really tight and thirsty, that's not a good thing. And it can be hard to find that balance. So a few cleansers that I have used would be the Kate Somerville, and it's called the Eradicate. She happens to use different sub names for each of her products, and the one that I use for oily skin is called the Eradicate, and it's a foaming cleanser. Another one that I've used is Dr. Jart, which is a foaming cleanser. Jack Black has a glycolic cleanser. I will go back and forth from time to time using the Image Clear Cell cleanser. It has the salicylic acid, great product. I also have used the Lyra, which is an exfoliating cleanser. And this is a brand new bottle. I had to replenish it because I use it quite often. Another cleanser that I've used is by Peter Thomas Roth. And this is a good one because it has all of the different exfoliators in it, which I'll go into in a moment. Be careful with this one though, because it's actually, and this is a travel size, it actually comes in a larger bottle. But this, because of the active ingredients in here, I made the mistake of using it too frequently too soon. And so you want to make sure with any of these ingredients that you're starting off slow, especially if you're not used to using them, because you don't want to stress your skin out. So for some of you, that might mean using the products once a week. And for others, that might mean starting off once a day and then working up to twice a day. So again, you don't want to stress your skin out, especially if you're not used to using some of these ingredients. Another cleanser that I use is actually a bar. My skin happens to love bars. Not all skin types do. So it goes back to making sure you're keeping a journal and knowing what your skin is reacting to. But this is one, it's a coconut papaya bar, and you get it from Whole Foods. And what I'll do with my bars is I will use those as a pre-cleanse and then go into my actual cleanser. So that's what I use for my cleansers. And now I'm going to jump around a little bit and go into toners. Again, the importance of toners, especially for oily skin. They are going to remove any remaining makeup that your cleanser might not have picked up. And then they're also going to help to hydrate your skin, especially for the oily skin, because we're using products and ingredients that are going to help control the excess oil. So the toner is going to help hydrate our skin and bring it back to a balance, so to speak. So a few toners that I've used, and you want to look for those that have the antioxidants. So that would be like your rose water, there's green tea, and then there's mushroom. I believe those are the main antioxidants. And I know that Origins has a great line, and they're owned by Estee Lauder. So definitely look for some of those ingredients. But a few toners that I have used, the Origins is one, and then the Ole Henriksen that I've mentioned before. And this is a correcting toner that I need to replenish for dark spots. But this particular line, they do have quite a few different toners and products out there depending upon your concerns. So that just happens to be a corrective one that I'm using. And then as you get into your exfoliation, it is probably the most important step in the skincare regimen for oily skin. And I would love for our estheticians to jump in here and correct and or comment, because I feel that exfoliation is so important for oily skin. A few different reasons. For number one, I absolutely love it, and honestly, it's one of my secrets in achieving a healthy glow. But the process of exfoliation, it helps to remove the dead skin cells from your skin. And for those of us that have oily skin, we are fortunate enough to have a really thick layer of dead skin compared to some of the other skin types. So we're so lucky. So, but that means that it's important to make sure we're including the exfoliation so that we can get rid of those dead skin cells so that they are not clogging our pores and causing acne. So there are two types of exfoliators. You have your physical exfoliator and you have your chemical exfoliators. The physical exfoliators are going to be those that are like your scrubs, and they're going to buff away the dead skin. Your chemical exfoliators are going to be your glycolic acid, your fruit enzymes, your salicylic acid, and those are going to manage the exfoliation process chemically. I've used both, and I tend to lean towards the chemical exfoliators. I love the pumpkin and papaya pills. Sometimes the pumpkin is a little bit too strong for my skin. I do tend to have sensitive skin as well. So the papaya works wonderfully for my skin. I've also used a product by Dr. Dennis Gross, and these are actually wipes. Sorry again about the sun glaring, but these are actually wipes, and they come in different levels. So again, you'll want to make sure you're starting off at the bottom and working your way up to the higher levels. But they call them peels, and they're actually a wipe that you just kind of sweep over your face, and it feels like a toner. And they're wonderful. Again, start at the bottom and then work your way up, because it's going to have those exfoliating ingredients in there to help manage the dead skin cells. Another product that I've used is by Peter Thomas Roth, and this is absolutely wonderful. It's a large swab. It has the glycolic acid in here, among other yummy ingredients for exfoliation. But it's a large swab, and I've used the entire box. I need to get more. But it comes in a package like this, and it's completely saturated in this glycolic ingredient solution, so to speak. And you sweep it over your face and you leave it on. And it's wonderful. I love these. Now, as we move into your moisturizing sunscreen, you want to look for those that have mattifying ingredients. They are going to be a game changer for oily skin. And I've mentioned before that I use the Image Skincare, which is 32 SPF. It has the mattifying ingredients. This is my absolute go-to. I'll probably say this in almost every video because I absolutely love it. Wonderful product. But you'll just want to make sure that you're finding a sunscreen that has the mattifying ingredients. And then for your nighttime moisturizer, because we have oily skin, we don't need anything too heavy. It's good to start and have something that's a little on the lighter side. I highly recommend a product called UFO, and it's called Ultra Clarifying Oil. And one of the things I had to learn with having oily skin is not to be afraid of oil products that are designed for oily skin. And this particular moisturizer it's a medicated oil that is, I absolutely love it and I highly recommend it. You get it from Sephora. I'm so sorry I don't have an example here to show you, but it comes in a little green bottle, about that big, green bottle, and it's by UFO. And you put it on your skin. It's really thin, very light. It absorbs immediately into your skin. And because it's medicated, it's going to help to unclog your pores and deal with the excess oil. And I like to wear mine at night. And that way, while I'm sleeping, it's at work and doing its thing. So highly recommend that. Another product that I've used is by Farah, and it's actually an oil-free lotion. It's F-A-R-H. And I'll post a screenshot of all the products that I've mentioned here, but it's an oil-free lotion, and I think it does also have the mattifying ingredients as well. And so that one, again, very light and not too heavy for oily skin. I've also used a moisturizer by Caudalie, and this one may or may not be too heavy for some of you. It depends on how much or how oily your skin is, but it's actually a sorbet and it's a gel cream. So again, just do a double check on the type of skin that you have. It's really great for those that are kind of in between the oily combination. So again, just do a double check on the kind of skin that you have. So that basically completes a skincare routine for oily skin. But you also want to include a mask from time to time. And I've used a few. I've used one by Peter Thomas Roth. It's a sulfur mask. And then I also am using right now one by Palmer's, which is a charcoal mask, which I really like. It's a sheet that goes over your face. And the sulfur and the charcoal are going to both help with removing the bacteria from your pores and also help to deal with the excessive oil. So always good to include a mask from time to time. I would say maybe once a week. Make sure you're including a mask in your regimen. So a lot of information, right? So much to learn and discover together. And I do plan to post separate videos on, that'll be specific to the important ingredients. We'll talk about the different types of exfoliators that are available to us. We'll also talk about acne and scarring. So I do plan to, after the series, I do plan to go into a further detail as far as some of those topics are concerned. Next week, we will be talking about dry skin, and that will conclude our common skin type series. So whatever will we talk about next? So much more to come. So please be sure to subscribe and have a great weekend. Thank you.